Hey everybody, it's Justin and welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to show you how to restore old, dirty, dingy, and yellowed plastic headlights like I have here on my 1994 BMW 325IS. We're going to show you a simple to use headlight restoration kit that you can pick up online or at your local auto shop, and then the basic tools that you need to get this job done. Turn these old ugly headlights into a nice, clear, and clean finish headlight that makes for both better visibility and much better looks. The yellow and dingy look on these plastic headlights is pretty common in old cars like this. It is primarily caused by ultraviolet light and even road and dirt grime, but basically sitting out in the sun taking the beating from the UV is what causes this discoloration. Now the headlight restoration kit that I like to use is this one called New Lens from Mother's Detailing Products. It comes with just about everything you need to get the job done. You will need to provide your own drill of some sort. It can be an electric drill like this one here or a corded drill. You'll need some water in a spray bottle or in a small plastic cup, and you'll need some microfiber or some kind of cloth for wiping off the headlights. In addition to the cleaning kit, I also like to use this Meguiar's headlight protectant. We put this on after the headlights are cleaned and polished to help retain the shine for a longer period of time. Once we get the kit opened up, we can see everything that is contained in the box. Of course, we have our Mother's Power Plastic Polish and Cleaner. We have a little backing plate that will attach to our drill. The foam polisher, which attaches to the backing plate on the drill. We also have an assortment of sandpaper scrubbing and cleaning pads. These will be the preliminary step when using the kit for cleaning the headlights. And now that we have everything out of the box, we can go ahead and start prepping the tools. You're going to want to grab your drill and your backing plate that came with the kit. Insert the backing plate into the drill. Get that locked into place. And then basically we have 3 different grit levels of sandpaper on these small sanding discs. We have an 800 grit, which is the most abrasive, a 1500 grit, a little less abrasive, and then a 3000 grit sanding disc. Take your 800 grit sanding disc, attach it to the backing plate on the drill. And then our first step in the process is actually going to be wet sanding the headlights with this sanding disc and water. We're going to go ahead and prep the headlight, the area around the headlight, with some painter's tape just so we don't scratch anything around the headlight on the car. And then we'll show you the process of wet sanding and basically what you're going to do. Start with the 800 grit, go through the sanding process on the headlight, wipe things clean, switch to the 1500 grit sandpaper, repeat the process, and again repeat the process with the 3000 grit sandpaper, and then we'll get to polishing with the little blue foam pad we have here. So let's go ahead and get started. We have the area prepped around our headlight with the blue painter's tape. Simply just take a couple layers of tape around on the body panels around your headlight just to keep those safe. Go ahead and grab your drill and your water spray. Spray the face of the drill. And this is going to be very wet, so you want to keep this moist at all times. And then also spray the headlight itself. Get it nice and wet. Once everything is good and wet, we're basically going to take a crosshatch pattern with the sander. Start on one side, go slowly across with light pressure and light speed. Drop it down, overlap a little bit, and go back across in the same motion, and basically cover the entire headlight in that fashion. Now this old BMW headlight has these tiny little plastic nubbies on it, so I have to work around those, but the general idea is to go back and forth until you complete the headlight, and then up and down in the opposite direction. So the first step is done. Go ahead and shoot it with some more water. Try to wipe things off again, and this is a very, very messy process. Have a towel or something on the floor to catch the water like I have here. At this point, your headlights will have a nice haze to them, obviously because we just sanded them. So we're gonna go ahead and switch out the 800 grit sandpaper for the 1500 grit sandpaper. And I'm gonna clean this one off here before we take it off. Off with the 800, on with the 1500. And basically repeat the process for the second step with the 1500 grit. We're gonna wet the face again, wet the headlight, and then continue with our crosshatch sanding. Now after step 2 is complete, your headlight should begin to look a little bit more clear or a little bit less yellow. The next step is going to be switching over to our 3000 grit sandpaper. Now when we switch over to the 3000 grit sanding pad, we want to make sure everything is dry. This is the 3000 grit foam pad. This one does not use water, so you do not wet the headlight with this third step. Make sure everything is good and dry. And then you can attach your 3000 grit sanding pad and again sand in the same motion or same pattern that you did before, going back and forth, up and down, getting an even sand across the headlight. But again, no water, make sure it is dry. We'll go ahead and get started. Now the headlight is completely sanded and it's already looking better than it did before, although a little bit hazy. So now we can go ahead and continue to the polishing step. Now the polishing step is pretty much identical to the sanding steps, except you take your little blue foam polishing wheel, attach it to your backing plate, just like with the sanding pads. Take some of the Mother's polishing products, give it a little bit of a shake to mix things up. Then we're going to apply some to the center of the blue polishing wheel. And that just went flying out of there. You don't want to do too much. It says about a nickel-sized application. I like to kind of rub it in to the top of the foam pad just to prevent the slinging of the product. So you want to start slow on the headlight and kind of work your way around the headlight. You want to polish about half the headlight and then go ahead and buff it off with a microfiber towel. And as you can see, that's already looking really, really good. Go ahead and add a little bit more products and continue with the other side. And there we go, now our cleaned and polished headlight, looking almost as good as new, much better than the faded and yellow tinted headlight that we had before. The last thing we're going to do is grab our Meguiar's headlight protectant that I showed you earlier. This is going to add an extra layer of protection to the headlight, make this finish last a little bit longer, because these old headlights will yellow again and discolor. It's just the nature of the beast. So you will have to do this process again every time the headlights get dingy or dirty, but this stuff does help a little bit and to make that finish last a little bit longer. So with this stuff, what you do basically is take your microfiber cloth, put a little bit of product onto it, and then we're just going to rub it into the headlight in slow circular motions, kind of spread it across, and pretty much just slowly buff it into the headlights. And then we're going to switch to a clean part of the towel and then buff the remainder off of the headlight. All right, everybody, there we go. Headlight restoration made easy. Simple to use kit with just a drill and some towels to get the job done. Really brings out the front end appearance of the cars. I forgot how much of a difference it makes on my old BMW 325. With those yellow and dingy headlights, it really looks bad. But polishing the headlights brings life back to the car. Everything looks clean and crisp, and overall I love the results. So go grab your kit at your local auto store. Get this done if you have a car with similar yellowing and dingy headlight issues, or you can hit up the links in the description below. I'll put the products that I use on my cars down in there. And like always, if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. Stay fast out there. I am checking out. We'll talk to you all next time.